Lieutenant Colonel Conricus, thanks for being here tonight. We're just back from Be'eri, where we, of course, witnessed the awful brutality, what was done to the mothers, the fathers, what was done to the children there, more than 100 killed in that community alone. As far as the Israeli military is concerned, we know that 360,000 Israeli reservists have now been called up. We know the tanks, the soldiers now amassing along the Gaza border. Is there a ground incursion coming here?
Yeah, the sights of the carnage in Be'eri definitely put things into perspective, one would think. We have called up reserves. The reserves are from ground units, infantry, armor, artillery, combat engineers, combat intelligence. So one could deduce that from the troops that we have called up, that is what they will be tasked to do. And at the end of this war, Hamas won't have the military ability to kill or hurt Israeli civilians ever again, and definitely not repeat the scenes that you witnessed today in Kibbutz Be'eri.
Let me ask you this way. Is there any scenario where a ground incursion would not happen, would be off the table?
Difficult to say. I personally don't think so, but that matters less. Our job is to be prepared and have all the troops ready for whatever assignments and however it is decided to implement them.
Lieutenant Colonel, you know I've talked with many of the families who are enduring this excruciating weight. More than 100 hostages taken by Hamas. We now know there are Americans among them. What can you tell these families tonight? Is there any kind of military operation, special forces, special operations trying to get them out right now?
Yeah, the issue of the hostages is perhaps the most sensitive and complex that we are dealing with within this nightmare scenario that we unfortunately find ourselves in. But so far, my understanding is that our objective will be to, as I said, dismantle Hamas's military capabilities. And at this stage, I have no further information about what's being done.
What can you tell these families tonight, though, about their loved ones? Do you know if they're still alive, these hostages?
No, information is extremely sketchy. I can only assure them that this issue is at the top priority of the IDF and that every man and woman in the IDF is committed to returning these Israelis back home to their families.
You know, the world has now seen what Hamas did here. It was brutal. It was terror. But what would you say to the Palestinians tonight who are not affiliated with Hamas, who don't support them, but who are now suffering right now because of Israel's retaliation? Can you really get rid of or wipe out Hamas without mass civilian casualties?
On a human level, I can definitely feel sympathy for the suffering of civilians in Gaza, but I think you must understand, and everybody must understand, that the attack that we have suffered and the actions of Hamas against our civilians, they leave no room for mercy towards Hamas.
But do you believe Palestinians who don't support Hamas should pay a price here?
No, that is not the aim. We are not looking to inflict a price on civilians. We never are. The sad reality is that the way that these cowards have deployed their entire infrastructure is that they're hiding behind their own civilians. They're using them as their human shields and forcing us to sometimes endanger Palestinians in order to achieve a military objective. That responsibility lies with Hamas, not with us.
Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Conricus.